Hello there, my very good friends. Andy Murray here for WhatCulture Wrestling, and Jey Uso pinned Roman Reigns at Money in the Bank 2023 because this is not Jey Uso's story. Let's unpack this match a little bit. Let's go through it. Let's break a few bits and pieces down here and there. Because, I mean, if any WWE show this year is worthy of multiple breakdown and fallout videos and everything else, aside from WrestleMania, it's Money in the Bank 2023. A very eventful night. We had turns, we had returns, we had controversial decisions, for example, LA Knight not winning. And then, of course, in the main event, we had Jey Uso pinning Roman Reigns for the first time in well over 1,000 days. In fact, if you want an exact number, 1,294 days since Roman was last pinned in this company. That was on the 15th of December 2019. It's like 3.5 years. It's almost 4 years. Completely crazy. Not a kind of thing that WWE has done a lot over the past few decades, and therefore very refreshing and just kind of in line with the overall presentation of Roman Reigns as the undisputed alpha at the top of the pile in this company. It was inevitable that when somebody pinned this dude, it was going to feel huge, and I think going into Money in the Bank, this was really the only choice for this match. That's not discrediting anything, by the way. In fact, I think it's a compliment. Sometimes in pro wrestling, the most compelling option is the most predictable one. Think about Daniel Bryan, for example, winning at WrestleMania 30 and countless other examples. Here, this was definitely the best choice in my opinion. Jey has a little bit more juice as an immediate title challenger than Jimmy would, for example, and also it means a little bit more because we had those matches with Jey and Roman in late 2020. So if you were going to have the Usos win, kinda had to be Jey. Now they could pin Solo and that would lead to more tension between Roman and Solo, but then you don't set up your title fight for SummerSlam, which according to Dave Meltzer is going to be Jey versus Roman, although I think most people who watched the show could have figured that one out themselves. On the other side of things, if you had Roman and Solo win, well, if Roman gets the pin on someone, you've killed any intrigue that you might have had saved up for a potential title program with Roman and one of the Usos. If you have Solo win, it's a bit more interesting because then you could see Solo kind of be a bit more emboldened. We've obviously established the idea that he could be the next tribal chief in WWE and whatever, but you still kind of lose the Uso versus Roman factor in all of this. So for me, Jey winning, definitely the best choice at this event. And here we go. He's going to headline SummerSlam against his cousin. It's probably going to call back. Probably going to be very similar to those matches at Hell in a Cell. And was it Clash of Champions in 2020? Really the matches that got this whole run kicked off after Roman became Universal Champion in the first place. So that's what happened. That's it kind of laid out over the next few months. We're going to have that title match. But at SummerSlam, I know it's quite a popular narrative at the moment that really this is Jey Uso's story and that Cody Rhodes losing at WrestleMania was just another step in that, and that eventually Jey is going to rise up and become undisputed WWE Universal Champion. But I don't think that's going to happen because we've had the report through from Dave Meltzer at Wrestling Observer stating that currently WWE's plan for the WrestleMania XL or WrestleMania 40 main event is Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. So that leaves a lot of ground to cover, obviously. First and foremost, SummerSlam, the next premium live event, is like 5 weeks away. It's the beginning of August. It's in Detroit. And we're going to have Jey and Roman, presumably. Also on that card, Cody and Brock blowing off their feud, maybe in a stipulation match. That's been speculated on and reported in recent times as well. So that's how we're going to keep the two sides occupied at least for the next month or so. After that, you kind of need to come up with some more bits and pieces. For Cody, there's plenty of unexplored potential on Raw. You could do something like him and Logan Paul at some stage. It's a high-profile rivalry. Obviously, Cody is loved, Logan Paul is hated, so it kind of makes sense in that regard. I think they'll probably try and book Logan Paul as much as possible, really. I wouldn't be surprised if he was on the SummerSlam card too, maybe facing LA Knight or Seth Rollins or someone. And then for Roman, once you've done the Jey match, and Jey is going to lose this match, I would probably bet that inflatable microphone on him not winning. when that match comes around. You could maybe do the Jimmy match if you want. That's something we haven't really explored. You can do the split stuff with Solo. In fact, if you really want to kind of build up the idea that the bloodline, that this empire that Roman has built, that his reign on top is crumbling, him versus Solo in the build to WrestleMania is probably a really good way to do that, because they've stayed aligned. Solo has aligned himself with Roman instead of going with his brothers. It'll mean a lot when they have finally split. And, you know, they're going to split at some stage. That's how this saga is playing out. That's why it's the best received story WWE has done in decades, really. People are absolutely hooked, and that would be a development in line with what has happened so far that I think everyone would really appreciate and really enjoy. But if we're getting to WrestleMania 39, sorry, that was this year. If we're getting to WrestleMania 40 with Cody Rhodes as the top babyface, what WWE are doing essentially is gambling and banking on the idea that that match next year is going to be as hot as it was this year. So to kind of summarize, Jey Uso pinned Roman Reigns because Cody Rhodes is going to pin Roman Reigns at WrestleMania XL. Now, we've seen this quite a bit with WWE, this gambling with their baby faces this year specifically. And forgive me if I'm forgetting any, but we have Sami, of course. Sami at Elimination Chamber losing to Roman, and you think, okay, well, Sami's really hot, and there's an argument that he should win this match, but if we're going to WrestleMania and Cody's gonna win, okay, we can accept that. And to be fair, things haven't exactly panned out poorly for Sami since then. But then we got to WrestleMania and Cody lost as well, and it was like, oh, okay, so the story hasn't been finished at all. What are we doing? What's going on? What's happening next for these people? Cody has fortunately remained very over. The Bloodline story is extremely well received, so it hasn't been a massive problem as of yet. But like out with all of this, you also had something like LA Knight not winning the Money in the Bank briefcase, which was an interesting choice as well. Not one that the live crowd really appreciated by the sounds of things at Money in the Bank. No disrespect to Damian Priest, he rules as well, but LA Knight, super over. I'm sure they'll find someone else to do with him. But they've been gambling with these baby faces and their popularity for a while now. You could actually go back to Clash at the Castle and Drew McIntyre as well in his backyard of Cardiff, Wales, if you want to as well. So it's a big gamble. Are we going to get to WrestleMania with Cody Rhodes as hot as he was heading into 39 when this felt like the biggest match in the history of planets? That's a long time. I don't know. If they can do it, it will be an absolute triumph and just a total booking success that you have to tip a hat to, really. I wish I had a hat to kind of, maybe we can get one in post. Maybe not. Don't want to give the editor work. But if you're thinking about Cody Rhodes and finishing the story, he actually had some pretty interesting things to say at the post Money in the Bank press conference as well. And I'll just read this to you because I don't want to get his words wrong. He was asked if he would chase the World Heavyweight title, which is of course Seth Rollins' belt, and if he'd be satisfied with that. And Cody said the following: "Finishing the story was always about the title that my dad didn't get. It ate me up that he never got it. So that is finishing the story. The World Heavyweight Championship is a whole other story. It is, and again, very special, the main title on Monday Night Raw. I don't look down on it in any way. But the title his dad never won, the old WWE title, is locked up in the lineage of the three kind of belts." One that Roman has, two that Paul Heyman has. It's in that lineage, it's in that past. So that's the one he's going to be chasing. So his words here align with the idea of WrestleMania XL and that being a deciding title fight. And that could be an extremely compelling story, and it'll be one to follow for sure. I'm sure it's gonna... Well, an objective side of this, I guess, is that business hasn't gone down really in any way. In fact, this company is killing it at the moment in every single metric. TV ratings, particularly for Bloodline stuff, are just really good relative to the past few years in particular. Live event attendances are up. You've got these wonderful events like Money in the Bank in London where it sells out in 2 minutes and the crowd is hotter than the surface of the sun. Of course, Puerto Rico earlier this year was sensational. Elimination Chamber for Sami, wonderful. They're doing a lot of really good things that people can't really argue with at the moment, and if they can keep that going into WrestleMania XL with this match on top, huge win for the company across the board. But let us know what you think of this whole saga of Jey pinning Roman at almost said SummerSlam, at Money in the Bank just the other day, and the plans heading into WrestleMania. Can they keep this going? Can they keep this hot? Will it feel as big as last year? Will it feel bigger? I'd love to know that, if you got any ideas on that regard, but I think it's an interesting one to follow. Jey Uso pinned Roman Reigns, so Roman Reigns can get pinned next April by Cody Rhodes in the Motor City. It's good stuff, and we'll see if it plays out. See you later.